Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back with another very interesting topic on Vedic astrology today. And today we'll be talking about planetary aspects. So as we know that we've already discussed planetary aspects in our previous video, and we all know that the 9 planets which aspect, and what are the planetary aspects, we are pretty much familiar. Like we know that Saturn aspects 3rd, 7th and 10th house from where it is situated. We are aware that Jupiter aspects 5th, 7th and 9th house from where it is situated. We are aware that Sun aspects 7th house from where it is situated. We are aware that Mercury aspects 7th house from where it is situated in the birth chart. We are aware that Moon aspects the 7th house from where it is situated. We are also aware that Mars aspects the 4th, the 7th and the 8th house from where it is situated in the birth chart. We are aware that Venus aspects the 7th house from where it is situated in the birth chart. We are aware that Rahu aspects the 5th, the 7th and the 9th house from where it is situated. We are aware that Ketu aspects the 5th, the 7th and the 9th house, just like Rahu, where it is situated. So we are pretty much familiar with planetary aspects, and today we'll be talking about unknown aspects, unknown planetary aspects, because there are several other aspects which are actually the Rashi aspects, the zodiac sign aspects. We're not discussing that today in this video, but there are other unknown planetary aspects which we are not aware of. Okay, so let's discuss that, because we are under the impression that these are the only planetary aspects, and which we just discussed. But there are other aspects as well we need to know. And why do we need to know? Because when you do a birth chart analysis, if you do not take into consideration the other aspects from what we have just discussed, or from what we generally use, then we may be slightly off in our analysis, because sometimes astrologers get confused as to why this is happening. And this topic is going to cover that, and we'll let you know as to what the unknown planetary aspects are of the planets, those unknown aspects which we are not aware of. And this is coming again directly from the scriptures, from the ancient scriptures. This is not a figment of any astrologer's imagination. All my videos have a reference to the ancient scriptures. So according to the ancient scriptures, it is said that all the planet cast an aspect at the 3rd and 10th houses. Now you'll ask me, well, 3rd and 10th house, that is the aspect which the planet Saturn has, along with the 7th house, of course. How are you saying all the planets have an aspect? Yes, the ancient scriptures say that all the planets, all the 9 planets, will have a planetary aspect on the 3rd and 10th houses. However, this will not be a full aspect. Okay, this will be just a 1/4 of the aspect. So a full aspect is 100%. So this 3rd and 10th house aspect is going to be 25%. Okay, however, there is an exception, and the exception is that all the other planets have 3rd and 10th house, or all the other planets have aspect on the 3rd and 10th houses from itself. But Saturn is extremely powerful when he has a quarter aspect or a quarter glance. So it is not actually quarter. It will be even more powerful than a full aspect. So once again, all planets aspect the 3rd and the 10th house from where they are placed. But Saturn, as per the ancient shlokas, has been shown as given an extremely powerful aspect on the 3rd and 10th. So that's the reason why we consider Saturn only for 3rd and 10th aspect. And as a matter of fact, it's been described that sometimes Saturn's 3rd and 10th aspect is even more powerful than the 7th aspect. Okay, and that's the reason why we do not take into consideration other planets, other 8 planets, which also have a 3rd and 10th house aspect from where they are placed, but it's only a quarter of the full aspect. So when you do a chart analysis, do not ignore the fact that, well, Jupiter may also be having a 3rd house aspect. Jupiter may also be having a 10th house aspect, just like Saturn, but Saturn is very strong and Jupiter is not that strong. So please take into consideration this part, which is very important. It's not as strong, it's just a quarter of 100% aspect, but it's still, regardless, it's still an aspect. So it's going to affect not just the 7th house, but the 3rd house and the 10th house as well. So that should not be ignored. Now, the ancient scriptures also say that all the planets have an aspect on the 5th and 9th from where they are placed, or all the planets have an aspect on the 5th and the 9th house from where they're placed. Now you're going to ask me, well, we know that it's only Jupiter, Rahu and Ketu which have a 5th and 9th aspect. No, the ancient scriptures say all 9 planets have a 5th house and the 9th house aspect, or they aspect the 5th house and 9th house from where they are placed. However, Jupiter and Rahu and Ketu have been given, as per the ancient scriptures, a very strong aspect on the 5th and the 9th house. Okay, and that's why generally we take into consideration the 5th and the 9th aspect related to Jupiter and Rahu and Ketu only, and we ignore the other planets. But no, we have to take into consideration, especially in the dasha periods, other planets. So which other planets are we talking about? We are talking about Saturn as well. So Saturn, along with the 3rd and the 10th and the 7th, will also have a 5th house aspect. Saturn, along with the 3rd and the 10th and the 7th, will have an aspect on the 5th and the 9th from itself as well. Okay, so but all other planets, just like Saturn, Venus will also have an aspect on the 5th and the 9th from where it is placed. Okay, just like Jupiter. But the other planets, like even Moon, even Sun, even Mars, they will also have a 5th and the 9th house aspect, along with the other aspects where they're very strong. But in this case, only Jupiter and Rahu and Ketu has been given to give a 5th and the 9th house aspect, very strong. The other planets have been given only 50% of the aspect. So it's not a full aspect. It has been given, as per the ancient scriptures, 50%. So the effects will be felt half, but they're still going to be felt. So especially in the dashas of planets like Moon, planets like Venus, planets like Saturn, planets like Mars, when their dashas come, please look at the 5th and the 9th house aspects from where they are placed as well, because they are aspecting and they are affecting, however only 50%. Okay, so that's as per the ancient scriptures. Now all planets as per the ancient scriptures have other than the 7th house, a 4th and the 8th house aspect. And once again you're going to ask me, well, we thought Mars only has a 4th and the 8th house aspect. How come other planets have? Yes, as per the ancient scriptures, other than Mars, all planets, it could be Jupiter, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Rahu, Ketu, they all have a 4th and the 8th house aspect as well, along with Mars. However, Mars has been given the privilege of having a very strong 4th and the 8th house aspect, okay, as compared to the other planets. So please do not ignore the other planets. And the other planets have been described in the ancient scriptures and as per the ancient shlokas, that they have an aspect which is 75% powerful as compared to a full aspect. So all other planets other than Mars have a 4th and the 8th house aspect from where they are placed as well. However, the potency or the power is 75% as compared to a full aspect. And of course, Mars has been given as per the ancient scriptures to be extremely powerful as far as the 4th and 8th house aspect is concerned. So that, and generally that's the reason why we just take into consideration Mars for 4th and 8th. We ignore the rest of the planets, but no, that's not true. The other planets also have as much as 75%. So especially once again, when the dashas of the other planets come, please look at all aspects. Look at the 3rd and the 10th house aspect. Also look at the 4th and the 8th house aspect, and also look at the 5th and the 9th house aspect, along with the 7th house aspect, which is a full aspect. Okay, and that's been described as to which ones are quarter aspects, which ones are half aspects, and which of the ones are 3/4 or 75% aspect. But this is the general rule for all planets. All planets will aspect 3rd and the 10th. All planets will aspect 5th and the 9th. All planets will aspect 4th and the 8th. And the aspect of the 3rd and the 10th house will be 25%. Aspect of the 5th and the 9th house will be 50%. Aspect of the 4th and the 8th house will be 75% powerful. However, as an exception, Saturn will be extremely powerful. It will not be just 25% in its 3rd and 10th house aspects. It's going to be extremely powerful. Similarly, Jupiter is extremely powerful in its 5th and the 9th house aspects, along with Rahu and Ketu. Similarly, Mars will be extremely powerful in its aspects, aspect on the 4th and the 8th house, along with the 7th house. And finally, we all know that a 7th house aspects is a full aspect, 100% aspect, which all the planets, all 9 planets will have. So I thought this was very important to bring to your attention. And why? Because we tend to ignore and we get confused as astrologers as to why this effect is happening. Because yes, if you look at the chart in totality, all the planets are aspecting 3rd, 4th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th from itself. So look at it from that point of view, and you can be a little more accurate in your predictions. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will recommend that please subscribe to my channel and check out my website. There is a link below, and I will see you with an interesting topic on Vedic astrology very soon. Goodbye.